we're going to source another jewellery and gemstones.
Merryweather Security with another classic private militia cover play. They have what we're after, but they're masking their whereabouts with signal jammers. You take out the transmitters, find the location, and you bring the cargo to the hangar.
Now again, some people are very, very good at taking out these signal stations using the Hunter helicopter. I am not. I am terrible at it. So what I'm going to do is call in something I can use. And the way I always accomplish this mission is just by shooting the thing. Now this is my preferred method. It may not be the best method, but it has worked for me every time I've done it. You can try and use the Hunter if you want to. You can use your own aircraft. This is just one method that works. The main reason for using the Oppressor rather than staying in the Buzzard is it's just much easier to get in and out quickly from the Oppressor. There's less startup time. It just saves a few seconds each time you're doing your job here. There's the signal station. On the mini-map, you'll see that some of them are slightly brighter than others, and that indicates that they're closer. Obviously you want to go to the closest ones first, but you're going to have to get all of them eventually. Going to be on top of that tower up there. If you're too close when it explodes, it will kill you, so just be aware of that. You don't want to land right next to it. Of course you could put an explosive on it. And then fly away. haven't been blessed with ideal flying weather for these missions. But I do admit I enjoy the changing seasons, the changing weather conditions in the game. Starting to smoke a little bit. Okay. I may have been a fraction too far away and it wasn't recording the hits. This one's going to be right on top of Mount Chiliash. I forget the name. Right on top of that building there. And this one I think is on the building at the bottom of the mountain. It's a bit tricky getting down there quickly on an oppressor. One thing oppressor is not good at is losing height, or indeed gaining height very quickly. It'll get you there. You see I'm actually losing height, but I'm not doing it very quickly. Cable car, that's what I was searching for. Just let off some chaff there by error. I prefer chaff to flares or other countermeasures because it's kind of fire and forget. If you can time it right, you've got a few seconds when people can't shoot at you. I don't tend to engage in the kind of situations where I would need to have aerial countermeasures, but I always put chaff on my planes and other flying vehicles. Just coming up to just over 10 minutes gone in the mission, and we haven't quite got to the actual crate yet. So this one isn't a quick one, at least not when you're doing it solo. Again, my missiles are not going to lock on, but I can just come along behind the guy. Wow, this guy's tough. That's at least 5 direct hits so far. Okay, there's my crate. But I'd realised that I wouldn't have had to get off the oppressor. I thought I was going to have to move that truck. And of course, the traditional 2 buzzards going to come and chase me. There they are behind me. But they're not going to be quick enough to make any real difference. From this angle I can see the lookout tower at the airport, and that's a handy guide as well. You can't take your oppressor inside the hangar, so that's why you see them, the character, hop off at that point. Just waiting for Ron.
Cargo delivered. Oh, look at us! Running like clockwork, a well-oiled machine. I've been oiled before, but I've never been a machine.
Okay, so at that point I'm going to go AFK for a little while. There are 2 ways of doing it here in the hangar. I can sit down to watch TV, but on the PC you need to press escape to get up, not the button it actually tells you. It's one of their weird, they've mismapped the button situations. Or I can come to my security desk here. I'm just going to come out of CEO because it saves a few of the continuing costs. And because I have security installed, I can look down at my hangar full of airplanes. The airplanes right in the middle is the Akula, which is a stealth helicopter. To its left and about half cut off is the Starling. Right down there is the Starling in the now bottom center of the picture. There's a Pyro now a little bit further up in the middle. I think that is the Hunter helicopter. On the right is the Nakota at the bottom. Next up is a Super Velito. It's an unarmed one I just put in there because I can have an unarmed helicopter if I need it. There's the Hydra, which is the vertical takeoff and landing jet. Behind that, the Molotov, I think it's called, which is the Russian fighter, quite useful. Smack in the middle is the Rogue, which is not too different from the Nakota. I need to take them both out and see if there's any real difference. In the middle at the back is the Sea Sparrow. That's the small helicopter, which is my usual first choice, and then just a regular buzzard, personal buzzard, to the left. The order you place your helicopters and planes in the hangar and in the storage affects how they appear when you pull them up in your menu. So if I go to my vehicles menu, you'll see my first choice is a Sea Sparrow. Now I can't call it from inside the hangar, but as I go through, Buzzard was next, Tula is in my storage, Hunter is next, Cargo Bob is in storage, Molotov is next, the Rogue, Havoc is in storage, Sea Breeze is in storage. So you'll see that it doesn't go by what's on the floor, it goes by what's the order between storage and on the floor. So it's a good idea when you're adding new planes to your system to say, what order do I want them to be arranged in? Do I want this to be my first choice so I can quickly grab it? Do I really not care? Is it something I'm never going to pull up? It just saves a little bit of time arranging the planes how you want them. And it doesn't really matter whether they're on the floor or in storage. You can have something in storage and have it come up quite early in the system. But the one thing you can't do from storage, of course, is jump into it on the hangar floor and then immediately fly it out. So it takes a little bit of switching around to get things as you want them. And this system has worked for me right now because Sea Breeze is really what I'm going to go for most of the time. And I will leave you there.